Okay, here we go. Obviously, you can hear me, so I assume everybody could hear me, so I'll get started. Thanks, Anthony.
You're
Appreciate it.
welcome.
Okay, so I want to thank everybody for joining the webinar. I always, I say the same thing all the time because, like Price said, Traders Corner has been really good to us, and we really appreciate the opportunity to be here all the time. It's great. Today is Halloween, so it's a scary time to be trading it. If you think about it, too, the markets are volatile. There's a lot going on, and I always enjoy listening to the other people talking that come on before me or after me, whatever. But and Price said something that is a great lesson. The service he's selling, maybe they only have one trade a week sometimes. Maybe they only have three trades a week sometimes. Well, at 10-minute trades, we're trading news, and we're basing the trades on trading the best performing news. So there are times when you might only have three or four trades in a week, but you might have 10 or 15 news reports. And just to really, it's a very, very important concept. And there are, we like to call them old wives' tales, but they're really not old wives' tales. Traders tend to make the same terrible mistakes over and over and over again when they're trading, and they just continue to repeat the errors. And one of the major errors that traders make, they try to trade too much. Over trading is one of the worst things you can do. So, just for fun, before I really even get started here, this is our weekly schedule for this week. And you can see our trade room is open for almost every one of these events. We trade the gold open, the oil open, the market open, US market open, United Health earnings, UPS earnings, Regeneron earnings. We're looking at all these events, but we don't trade all of them, and we don't recommend that you trade every single one of them. One of the most important lessons that you can learn as a trader is not to overtrade, to trade the opportunities that are the best. And that means you've got to put in a little bit of time to learn about the system that you're trading. Yes, people can send you their alerts and they can tell you what to do and how to do it. But if you also put in that little bit of extra time and effort to learn the why you're doing it, you'll be a better trader. You'll do less over trading and you'll know when the opportunity is staring you in the face. And that's a very important part of why the magnet strategy is so important and why I wanted to talk about it today. The title, News Trading is Changed, is not clickbait. It really is true. So I'm going to talk about our magnet strategy, but I'm going to just do a quick intro about 10-minute trades, let you know who we are and what we do and how we trade. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director for 10-minute trades. It's possible to lose money trading futures, so please trade money you can afford to lose. Everything I discussed today is for educational purposes. Now, just to be clear, we trade a methodology called appointment-based trading, and our software uses the NinjaTrader platform. We trade futures. When we're talking about trading stock earnings, we're trading futures on stock earnings. And let me show you what I mean. We had an awesome, awesome stock earning trade yesterday. We're right in the middle of stock earnings. It's the highlight this week. We had Meta yesterday and Google yesterday, but a lot of people don't pay attention to Caterpillar. Well, we've been trading Caterpillar for years, and something fantastic happened during this trade. So this is our actual trade room video. In the trade room, when we're trading earnings and when we're trading magnets, when we're trading anything, we use the same charts. Our charts are very simple. We have highs and lows on the charts. We have VWAP on the charts. And chart creation is very important for magnets and for the way that we trade earnings. I was looking at Thinkorswim stock chart pricing, and I was also looking at TradingView, the free version, their Caterpillar stock price movement. Notice on the left here, you got these little X's on the chart. Those are our orders. We know when Caterpillar releases their earnings, and all of the trades that we trade are very similar in the sense that you're waiting for the market to break out of an area, and when it breaks out, that's when you get pulled into a trade. And frankly, all trading is like that. Whether you're trading news or you're trading somebody's trend system, you're waiting to break out of an area, obviously, and then get pulled into the market. With Caterpillar, we create a range based on time. It's a short range, 30 seconds. When the range gets broken, we get pulled into the market. But something fantastic happened yesterday when we traded this report. First off, it was a phenomenal, fantastic explosion, and we made a ton of money. Everybody in the trade room made a lot of money. But one of the things you're always hearing about news trading, because we trade news, everybody says, oh, you can't trade the news. Slippage will kill you. Slippage will kill you. Sometimes there are trades where, yes, slippage kills you. But there are just as many trades where you get positive slippage. In this trade, we made more money than our targets were set for because the market moved so far and so fast in our favor, it gave us more ticks of profit than we expected. That's called positive slippage, and that happens a lot. One of our members in Kenya traded this report. Let me show you her chart. Hopefully I can move it here. And she made $1,200 on this report. Her profit really should have been about $500, but because it exploded so far, it filled her way up at the top of the move, which is a bonus. She got extra ticks. And like I said, instead of making $600, Roz from Kenya made $1,200 on that trade in a moment also. And that's called positive slippage. We also had positive slippage. If you notice our trade, it takes place right at 6:30. Our software puts the orders on the chart. Price explodes when the earnings come out because Caterpillar had fantastic earnings. The point I'm trying to make is sometimes you have positive slippage, sometimes you have negative slippage. It's a key issue when people talk about the way that we trade. Slippage will not always kill you. It will very often give you more money than you're expecting. So I just wanted to show you a true instance where many of our members had positive slippage yesterday. So at 10-Minute Trades, we have a system. And in our system, we have 4 elements: the weekly schedule. I just showed you our weekly schedule. We have a daily market mover trade action report. Many of the events we trade get treatment called the daily market mover. Our schedule has a lot of information on it. It shows when our trade room is going to be open, room opens. It shows the time of the event that we're trading. Normally, we go into our room about 30 minutes before the event. It's going to name the event. We show the instrument we're thinking of trading, and sometimes we have a few little notes on the weekly schedule. That's free. Anybody can get our weekly schedule by just going to our website and opting in for our free video, How to Find 10-Minute Trades, www.10minutetrades.com. So we have a weekly schedule, the daily market mover trade reports. The trade reports look something like this, exactly like this. This morning we had the ECB refi rate, for instance. We also had natural gas storage. The natural gas storage was a winning setup. So this is a report that's specific to natural gas, the storage report. Every Thursday at 10:30, natural gas releases the government releases storage reports. And even with the government shutdown, they have been releasing the energy reports. We show a 6-week journal, what happened the last 6 weeks on this report. We show some history of the report on the daily market mover. And we show a setup that we're going to consider using in the trade room as long as we feel the market fits the setup. Sometimes you have extreme volatility before a trade. We might modify our setup, and that's very important to know, and it's very important to understand that the trade room is a key element in our system and in our membership. Four elements make up the membership: the weekly schedule, the daily market mover trade report, trade room access, and software access. So that's what makes up the trading system at 10 Minute Trades. Our software installs into NinjaTrader. It's three strategies. So once again, we've got weekly market movers, daily market mover, trade action reports, trade room access, and our software. We have three strategies that install into NinjaTrader: trap trade reversal strategy, the magnet strategy, which we're going to discuss today, and our news trader strategy, which has breakouts, reverse breakouts, earnings trades, range trades. I showed you a copy of our weekly market schedule, the weekly market mover. I've shown you our daily market movers. Our daily market mover trade reports get sent to our members the day before the event. So for instance, tomorrow, if we're trading the PCE price index, if it's coming out, the day before that news is available, we have a DMM, we have a trade set up for that event. Some events we don't have DMMs because they don't fit that kind of a profile, and we call them trade room events. And basically, when a member comes into the trade room, we teach you how to set up a trade for that event if it doesn't have a DMM. So every event that we deal with in the trade room, we teach our members how to enter the trade into our software. And it's very, very easy. When we start covering the magnet in a minute, I'll show you how to enter magnets, and all our software, all our setups enter into the software in a very similar way. So our trading system is time-based, and it's a pre-planned approach to the market. You can schedule your trades on specific days at specific times, up to a month in advance. We have three categories of events that create these triggers, three categories where we get the events that we're going to trade. The first category is high impact economic reports, FOMC statements, GDP reports, ECB refi rates. Those are economic reports. They generate news moves. We call it a news move. When the news is released, it gets compared to the forecast. The actual news compared to the forecast is what causes the move in the market. The difference between those two, we call the difference between the forecast and the actual result the news offset. If there's a big offset, that tends to move the market more than if the news is as expected. Our second trigger event, big company earning reports, and we are right in the middle of big company earning reports. Caterpillar was awesome. We also have another trade setup. We have been trading United Health for, I would say, since the beginning that we ever started trading earnings. United Health has been a winning trade. I don't think we've had a single losing trade trading United Health. We don't care if the company is controversial because something terrible happened and their CEO got shot. That doesn't really come into play. What comes into play is only one simple thing. How does their stock price affect the future we're trading at the time the news is released? Every quarter that we've traded United Health, our system and our setup has worked for a profit. Yesterday, our software put the orders on the chart, the price burst up, we were able to trail, and eventually what happened, price kept going, and it went all the way to the high of the day, which brings up the beauty of magnets. The high of the day is a magnet. The VWAP is a magnet. The low of the day is a magnet. So what is a magnet? Magnets are areas on the charts that many traders look at, and because they're popular areas that so many people look at, they put their orders around those areas, and all those orders sitting there tend to attract price or repel price. And we created a system, a very simple system, to trade the test of the magnet. And that's what I'm going to explain as we keep going here. So we've got these three categories that create these events that we trade for profits. Category 3, market open, market close trades. We started trading market opens. We've done them through the pandemic, and then we took a break from them. We started trading market opens about a month and a half ago again because some of them are working great. Now, most people think of the US 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time as the only real market open. But at 8:20 in the morning, you have the gold open. At 9 o'clock, you have the oil open. And then 9:30, you've got the US market open. 6 p.m. in the evening, you got the reopening of the US futures market. There are many market opens. You could trade the grain market opens, the European market opens. Obviously, you want to look at those time frames, trade those opportunities that are best. Right now, the regular market open, they're trading great. Let me show you. Let's see which video I have. I should have a video, today's market open, and it shows a couple of things. So we trade the YM very often as a magnet at the market open. So remember what I said. The low of the day is a magnet. Why is the low of day a magnet? Because it attracts price. Low of day attracts price. High of day attracts price. So we created a setup that puts in order above the test of the low. And that's where we get entered, short. And our exit is geared around the low of the day. So we have a strategy called the magnet strategy. It takes about 1 minute to set up a trade. Very easy. Also, you can use your own custom levels. Anything you want to do, you can use your own levels, or you could use the popular levels that we know are magnets. Why are there other magnets that might work really well? Because think about it. If a lot of people use Fibonacci's, then Fibonacci retracement levels will very possibly be a great magnet. So you can set up, when we created the magnet strategy, we wanted to make sure that someone could put their own levels into the strategy. Also, people do tremendous amounts of analysis, and people are smart. They come up with areas on the chart that they know are going to be a magnet. So we wanted to give them the capability of creating a custom magnet because we know magnets work. And once we show you how they work, you'll be convinced and you'll want to trade magnets also. So this morning, one of the ways we trade the YM, because the YM happens to be a little bit tough to trade at the open, but it's not so tough if you look for magnets. We got to the trade room about 9:15 for the YM. I looked and I saw the YM was down. And how did I know it was down? I've given another webinar that you can go to our YouTube channel and you could just watch how to set your charts up for news trading and for magnet trading. It's the same exact setup. We put high of day, low of day on the chart, VWAP, which is a great magnet, on the chart, and an indicator called the net change display. It's a free indicator, part of NinjaTrader, and it shows in a glance if the market you're looking at is up or down from the time frame you are looking to check it. There's a way, very easy, when you set up your charts to calculate your indicators at a certain time. We calculate our indicators from when the market reopened at 6 p.m. That's when we calculate our indicators. So our high of the day starts at 6 p.m. in the evening. We don't start at midnight, say. You could set your charts up if you want to do it at midnight. For us, the key is we use the most popular magnets that most traders are going to use. So when we set up our charts for NinjaTrader, we set our trading time template to default. Because let's be honest, most beginning traders are going to leave everything at default. There's a ton of beginning traders that are trading the markets these days. So I want to look at magnets with trading hours default because it works really well because tons of people are looking at the same timed levels. So a magnet is an exit. It's an exit at that level that we believe is going to pull the price. The low of day gets tested over and over again on any instrument you want to trade. If you like trading gold, think about it. Doesn't the low and the high of day get tested multiple times during the day? Doesn't the VWAP get tested multiple times during the day? Doesn't the PP pivot? You get it? You follow what I'm saying? These are areas that get tested over and over during the day on every instrument. If you like trading the ES, practice magnets on the ES. If you like trading the YM, plenty of magnets on the YM. So we come in the morning, we notice low of the day, our net change indicator is giving us an initial shortish slant because the YM is down 200 ticks. I'm not going to count 100% on my net change display without doing a little bit more checking. You might be advised to look at a 15-minute chart before you determine trend. Just looking at the net change display alone is not enough, so it's always smart to make a proper determination about trend. Just because the market is currently down 200 ticks doesn't necessarily mean that market is bearish. It could be a pullback in a bullish market. However, this morning, the markets were not behaving that great after the Fed. Also, there was not a big, gigantic trade agreement signed between the US and China yesterday. It hasn't been signed yet. I think the markets are skitterish right now, but the YM looked negative on the open. So our magnet software, it puts an entrance above the low, and then we are testing for the low. Our exit is the test of the low. This actually all happened right before the open. I'm willing to take this trade before the open. This is a perfect magnet. Here's our entry. We got pulled into the market right before the open. The price chopped a little bit, and bingo, in like 30 seconds, our target was hit, and I was done with my magnet trade on the YM. Then, interestingly, the YM wound up going up at the open. Totally different trade. Now, what's fascinating, look on the left, we've got the MNQ. Now, we were trading a breakout on the MNQ because that's our best setup right now on the MNQ open. But if our breakouts were not working great, and I came into the room and I saw the low of the day sitting under our price right before the open, you could have set up a magnet for a test of the low of day and watch what happened. We happened to make beautiful money on our MNQ breakout. It worked perfectly. There's our orders. If the price goes up on the open, we're going to go long. If the price goes down, we're going to be pulled into the short side. We were pulled into the short side. Here's our trade. Watch the red line, the low of day. That's a magnet. Watch what happens. Our trade makes money, hits all our targets. We put our second target at the low because we know that's a magnet, and we expanded our target. It got taken out about 30 seconds after our trade was entered. We used, even though we didn't trade the exact magnet setup, we used our breakout setup to place our second target where the magnet trade tells us high probability of getting to that area. And that's exactly what it did. The MNQ went a lot further this morning, and our magnet strategy does have the ability to exit one position at the low and then take a second position. If you keep going through and through and through the magnet, bingo, you can make more profit with a second position. Now, what's really interesting is on the YM. Look at what happened on the YM open. There is a magnet possibility above the current price, the VWAP. Now, this is a double magnet. It's stronger than a regular magnet because there's more and more orders being placed around those areas. So you had a VWAP level and you had the 6 p.m. open level. And it's not in the video, but trust me, folks, this morning the YM went up and it went through the magnet area. Had someone wanted to set up an opening trade YM magnet to the upside, that would have worked as well. The point is, magnets are all over the charts. If you can read simple trend, that will help you to pick the best opportunities for winning magnet trades. Now, of course, every trade isn't a winner. The first trade I took this morning, it just didn't follow through. And I traded gold, a magnet to test the low, and it didn't get to the low. It reversed. But that's going to happen. I don't have to tell you that not every trade is a winner. If every trade is a winner, no one would be here. There are hundreds of these triggers that we talked about a little while ago. The market moving events, earnings, the three types of events, hundreds of these events that we find to trade. Besides magnets, besides earnings, all of the events that we find to trade, we get from the free calendars. Forex Factory, investing.com, all of these calendars show you events. We have vetted tons and tons of these events. And in our trade room, we teach our members to trade these various events. And we know, believe me, we know the best events to trade. We're not going to trade Italian GDP at 5 in the morning. It doesn't move the market that much. But we are interested in Swiss CPI sometimes, or the Swiss GDP at times, or the Euro French flash manufacturing report. We know which reports are going to move the markets, and we find the events on the various calendars. Investing.com, Forex Factory, Financial Juice, and we find our earnings trades on earningswhispers.com. The way that we trade, especially magnets, is extremely appropriate for trading in prop accounts. We just passed a prop eval 2 days ago, trading lots of magnets, lots of market opens, breakouts, all sorts of different, different types of setups. That was our little certificate. We just passed an eval. So now we got to get some money, and we're going to take very good care and trade our funded account. Very smart. We're on the verge of our market open account getting funded as well. We're only about $400 away from that. No, actually, after this morning, we had a very, very successful morning. I think we're like $50 away from our market open strategies from getting funded. So when that gets funded, we'll just do what we continue to do. We'll trade market opens and closes only in that account. And that's the way to get money out of the account. This is our first, we never used to trade prop accounts. We were pretty late to the party. They have some good value. The one thing about prop accounts that I don't like, and you want to be aware of, they do tend to create very bad trading habits, because let's be honest, trading in a prop account is not losing your own money when you lose a trade. Nothing teaches you better trading habits than trading your own cash. So there's a lot to be said still for trading in a cash account. Our software strategies are custom add-ons to NinjaTrader, and the strategies have multiple setups. You can automate the setups, or you can semi-automate them, and our software takes the place of learning a programming language called an ATM. But let's get to magnets right now. So remember what I said, because it's critical. A magnet is an area on the chart that lots of traders put their orders, and price gets pulled to those areas. R1 is a pivot. That area is a small magnet, nowhere near as good as the high of the day. If you shop for magnets, what do I mean, shop for magnets? Just scroll through a chart. This is the gold chart. And if you just go back in time, you could see which pivots, which areas tested the levels. The most popular magnet, my favorite magnets, are the high of day, low of day. And there's the test. The most recent high of day, low of day was 10:10 this morning. That means to me, because we're a couple of hours away, that this high of day is a potential magnet trade again. When the markets get back from lunch. Right now the markets are at lunch, but let's say you believe that that high of day is a magnet you want to trade. So it's easy for us to trade a magnet. And just as a reminder, I can show you 50 different magnet trades that work. So I'm not going to show you 50, but let me show you another gold magnet trade that works so you know what I'm talking about. Here we are. We had a low of the day we were looking at. Our magnet software, I'm going to show you how it works in a second. It puts orders on the chart. The thick line is our order entry. Our exit is the magnet. There goes the price. The market's falling. It's been falling. It's going to fill us right there. We get filled as the price goes through our thick order entry line. And watch, it's going to test the low and pay us. Chops a little bit. I don't get worried. Boom. Magnet trade of beauty in our prop account. Nice, sweet profit. Magnets happen over and over and over and over. I can't begin to tell you how many times. Do they happen on other instruments? Here's a magnet on oil. Oil is a great instrument to trade magnets on. So here we have around noon or a little bit before noon, an hour before, we noticed oil was negative. Low of day was in sight. We thought there would be a good possibility of a test of the low. We put our magnet strategy on. Our thick line is the order. Our red line, the dotted line, is the entry, exit. There's our entry at the thick line. Price goes, chops a tiny bit, hits the magnet almost immediately. It was just a couple of seconds. Then I believe at the end of the video, we had another magnet on micro oil to the upside. So here's our magnet. We're looking now for a test of the high over an hour later, okay? And we got a magnet, order entry, high level is our magnet, the high of day. We get entered into the market, little chop, very normal. Boom, through the magnet. Remember I said you could have a second position to take advantage if you shoot through in a significant amount? Well, you can. Here's how easy it is to put a magnet trade on the chart. So let's say I'm noticing gold. I'm watching gold this morning, and I see we have a high of day. It's probably going to get tested eventually. So I'm going to right-click the chart, click the word strategy. It's going to open a dialog. I'm going to double-click Magnet Trade because remember, our software loaded into NinjaTrader. It's now part of NinjaTrader. Magnet Trade high of day, low of day is default. I don't have to do anything. I change the proximity to 3. It just is a question of where it's going to put our order entry on the chart. My default is 1 contract, and it's going to take me out of the trade. My target is 3 ticks before I get to the magnet. And right now, my stop, I would use a stop, say 25 ticks. So all I do is enter the number 25 where it says stop loss ticks. I scroll down. I make sure I choose the account I want to trade in. We label every trade. This is called the GC, the gold magnet trade. I just apply it, okay it. Now on the NinjaTrader control panel, as long as I have the strategy tab checked, not the account tab, but strategy, I can turn on my trade by enabling it, by checking the box. When we enable a magnet trade, it puts our order 3 proximity. It's just a percentage of how far or how close. The proximity doesn't really matter because you can grab the order entry and put it where you want. All right, so you can use your analysis to say, well, if 4025 gets broken, I want to enter there. I want to be pulled into the market above 4025. So I can move my order above 4025. The high of the day is my target, less 3 ticks. So if I want to trade this magnet trade, I have a couple of different possibilities. I could just leave it the way it is. And when the price gets to my thick line order entry, The magnet button will blink purple and it'll make a sound telling me press the button if you want to enter the trade. Also, if all of a sudden the market starts taking off to the upside, and I truly believe we're in a big upward trend, maybe someone said something that's news related that's going to force gold up $10, I can press the enter now button and it'll immediately put me in the trade with all our safety, with our stops and targets properly configured. Also, I can automate the magnet trade by just simply pressing the pink button, the entry button. It'll turn the button pink, put it into auto mode, and then I could do something else. Maybe I'm trading the ES on my other chart, and I could not even pay attention to my gold chart. It'll take the trade automatically. If I turn off the auto, I could still be trading the ES and doing other things on other charts or reading a book. And if the magnet blinks and makes a sound, I know I can get over to my chart and press the button to trade. So that's the high of day, low of day magnet. The high of day, low of day is easily automated. Now, keep an eye on your email. We are making a huge announcement next week. That's all I'm going to say. Big announcement that we're going to be talking about. Today is going to be the last day, and I have an apology to make, which I'll make in a second. But we have something big coming out. It's going to change the magnet even more. The custom magnet, let's say, for instance, that I really believe the VWAP is going to be the magnet. It's 39.85. That's the level. So I just choose a magnet trade. Instead of doing high of day, low of day, I just make it a custom level. I put in a target. Let's say we'll do 30 tick target. It's all adjustable. Sorry, I'm going to put in the custom level. So I look at the VWAP. It's 39.85. I put in the exact level of the exit, the magnet, 39.85. That's my VWAP level on the chart. Easy to see, easy to understand. 30 tick target. I have my stop. Let's go right to apply and OK. Enable. Now what's going to happen is down at the VWAP, that's my order. But remember, the magnet is my exit. I want to exit at my magnet. So I'm going to grab my order and just move it above. This is going to be a short. So I don't want it to be below the VWAP. I want it to be above the VWAP because our price is above. And then I would turn off the long so it doesn't go the wrong way. And when price gets down to this area, I have a custom VWAP magnet trade. That's how long it takes to put magnets on the chart over and over. Those levels get tested constantly. We trade magnets at the open. We trade magnets at the close. We have breakouts at the close. Okay, so everybody understands what a magnet is. We teach you how to set up your charts. All you need on your charts is the current day open, high, low, pivots. We use the order flow VWAP. Order flow VWAP, if you're a lifetime Ninja Trader subscriber, you get that for free. If you're not, we have a VWAP free one for you that you can use with magnets. We put volume on, the net change display, and the squeeze. Okay, everybody knows what the squeeze is. So I discussed what triggers a magnet trade. What triggers a magnet trade is the price pulling the current movement into those levels. And once again, it happens over and over and over on all charts. If you want to trade gold, magnets get attracted. If you want to trade oil, magnets get attracted. Every single chart known to man will work with magnets. And here's the beauty of magnets. Magnets have worked since the beginning of time. This is not like a robot that needs constant reconfiguration every 2 weeks because the markets have changed. Yes, the market might be more volatile. It might get to your magnet more quickly, right? But A magnet is a magnet is a magnet, and from the beginning of time, the high of day and low of day gets looked at by traders. The pivots get looked at. That's probably never going to change. And if it did change, you still always have custom magnets. It is a fantastic way to trade. So I would like to offer everybody an opportunity to come into our trade room, test everything that we do: earnings, magnets, breakouts, news trading, every single thing we do. My apology is this. Last week I said it was the last week we were going to keep our trial active. We've had a 1 week delay in our big announcement that we're making next week. So I'm going to do the trial for 1 more week. And I really am being serious. Once this week is up, because we have a huge upgrade coming out. Once that upgrade is out, we're going to concentrate on our new software all through the end of the year, and our trial is not going to be available. This is the last opportunity until this trial expires. We are going to take it down, and it's not going to be available. Everything that we do is available in this trial. Everything. Nothing is held back. You're a full-blown 10-minute trades pro member, trade room, daily market mover reports, weekly schedule, everything. Software access. I'll go through it all. The trade room. You can come into the trade room just like our full-blown members. You are a full-blown member for 30 days if you take this trial. We have the trap trade strategy, the magnet trade strategies, the breakouts, the news trading. We're in the middle of earnings. You can trade in a prop account. We've got members that tons of members have been passing their evals all week. The last 10 days have been really, really good trading. And we've had a lot of people passing accounts these past couple of weeks. Final trial opportunity. My only apology is I said last week was the final. We're going 1 more week. I don't like to look like I'm not telling the truth. Everybody who knows me knows me. I don't not tell the truth. So go to www.gopro25.com, $20.25 to take our trial for 30 days. And it will renew for $97. You can be a pro member per month. If you don't want us to renew, just send us an email before the billing period is up. help@10minutetrades.com. It's no big deal. I'll show you the email. So www.gopro25.com. Every day in the trade room, we're teaching you how to do magnets. And the bonus is you'll learn how to trade earnings with news, futures. You'll learn how to trade the breakouts, reversal trades. It's a great trading method, and it's so reasonable. Taking the trial is worth it just to learn all about the news and how it might affect any other setups that you're trading. All the things you'll get: the news trader software, the magnet trade, appointment-based trading method. We teach it every day. Choose the events you want to trade. Learn how to create a trading schedule so you don't have to sit in front of your charts all day. Trade selected stock earnings with futures. I will guide you step by step in all of our trade rooms. We usually have 3 to 5 trade rooms a day. Mondays are usually a little quieter. If you have any questions, send me an email, help@10minutetrades.com. And again, it's www.gopro25.com. I don't see many questions this morning. Everybody is kind of quiet today. It's raining and miserable where I'm located. So, folks, I would love to see you in the trade room. We've got great earnings trades still ready to go. Anthony, thank you so much for having me here. I really appreciate Traders Corner and the opportunity to present our service. So thank you, and I'll see you next time.
Oh, thank you, Lee. As always, that was electrical. Magnetically drawn to your methods. Traders, check the chat link, or check the chat for the link to upgrade and learn more. Thank you
Thanks a
so
lot to
much,
you.
Lee. Always great to have you.